Hey there, and welcome to the Girl Means Business podcast, the show that's all about helping photographers just like you build a thriving business without sacrificing your sanity. I'm your host, Kendra Swalls, a former teacher turned full-time photographer and marketing coach, here to fill your earbuds each week with practical tips, real-life stories, and a whole lot of encouragement. So if you're ready to dive in, let's get to it because this girl means business. Hello there, and welcome to the latest episode of the Girl Means Business podcast. Okay, today, if you are feeling like you are doing all the things and you're still not booking clients, then this is the episode for you because I'm going to walk you through some small changes that can equal some really big results when it comes to your marketing. We're going to be doing a little bit of a self-marketing audit. Now, these are things that I will walk through with my clients, my coaching clients, whenever we start working together. And we deep dive all of these things, but I'm going to show you today, I'm going to walk you through how to kind of do this on your own so that you can find the areas where maybe your workflows or your chains have broken links in them, because that's really the key. Is like the only difference between what you're doing now and what super successful businesses have already done is finding the areas that need to be tweaked and changed. That is what the early phase of business is it is not throwing everything out because one piece is broken. It is finding the different parts of the chain and sort of tweaking each one until the whole thing flows seamlessly. So today I want to walk you through a couple different parts of your marketing chain so that you can start looking at where are the areas that I need to make improvements or make changes to start seeing some big results. Okay, so let's just dive right into it. Number one is your website. Okay, this is your home base for your business. So it needs to really be working for your business. So I want you to ask yourself the question, is your website making it super easy for people to book with you? So let's walk through a few different things. One, a couple of mistakes I see a lot of people making when it comes to their website is, especially with photography, because we all are very visual people, which is great. However, that means that we want our images and our photos to speak for themselves. And we want our websites to be these beautiful works of art. We want them to be visually stunning and appealing. And that's wonderful. But sometimes, because we're so focused on that, we lose the logistical parts of our website that are actually going to move a viewer from a passive viewer to an actively, like, I'm going to book a session person, a potential client. So a couple of things I want you to look at. One is it very clear to a person who lands on your website what it is that you offer? Okay. If you're not sure how to answer this because you're too close to it, send your website to someone who is not super familiar with your business or what you do, or even head over to a Facebook group and put it into a general kind of business Facebook group, not necessarily a photography group, but like there's a lot of local business groups, or even like there's like a gold diggers or a moms building businesses. Like, go and find a Facebook group, put your website in there and just ask the question, based on the homepage of my website, can you tell me exactly what it is that I offer and what I do? And see what responses you get. If a lot of people are saying things like you're a photographer, but they aren't being specific on what type of photography you offer, then maybe you need to make a couple little changes there. Another question that you can ask is it clear where I'm located? This is one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to photographer websites, is you are not putting on your website where you're located. If you are in Denver, Colorado, put that on your homepage of your website. Serving the Denver, Colorado community, or located in, or studio is based in, and then put your location. Because that is one of the first things that is going to turn somebody off your website, is if they don't know if you're even in their area. So make sure that's very clear. The second or third thing, I guess, is it really obvious how they can get in touch with you? A lot of times, because we want these websites to be flowery and pretty and beautiful and different and unique, we change up the wording on things, and our viewers are like, I don't know what this button does. For example, if your button says plan your dream photo shoot, they don't necessarily know that that means that that's them getting in contact with you. They may think that that's like some kind of planning spreadsheet that they're going to get. It's just too gray. You want to make it very, very black and white. Book now. Contact me. Send me a message. Whatever the wording is. I know that it is not like the fun, pretty, flowery thing to put on there, but they don't need that. They need direction. They need to know exactly what it is that you want them to do. So make sure all your call to actions, all of those buttons are very, very clearly worded, and make sure they're on every single page. So if someone goes to your portfolio page and they scroll down through your portfolio, put a button at the bottom, contact me to book your session. They don't need to scroll all the way back to the top to get to your menu bar. Make it as easy as possible on every single page for people to get to that button that says contact me or book now or whatever it is it's going to say. Next up, you want to make sure that your website is clear of distractions, okay? Again, I know you want your website to look beautiful, but if it is so busy and cluttered and overwhelming for someone, they are going to click away and go find someone who is easier to follow. Your website has one purpose, and that is to move your viewer from passive viewer to active booking client. All the other things in the middle don't need to be this overdone, highly curated thing. It can look beautiful. It can be on brand. It can do all those things. But if it is too busy and too distracting and there's too much information in one place, their brain is going to shut down. They're going to click away. So go through and remove all the clutter and just simplify your website down. Last but not least, when it comes to your website, it needs to be mobile friendly. If you're using like Showit, I use Showit for all my websites. Obviously, they are really, really good about making sure that you can see and edit the mobile and the desktop version. That is so important. So whatever platform you're using to design your website, you have to make sure it looks good on a phone or a tablet, because a large portion of your audience is going to be looking at it on a mobile device. So you need to make sure that it is mobile friendly. So that is your quick overview website audit to make sure that your website is moving your audience through a simple and easy process. Again, do the test. If you are not sure where your website is failing, send it to someone that is not familiar with your business or your industry and have them walk through where they would click and what they would do and see where they're getting stuck or where they're getting lost or where they're getting turned off, and find little ways to fix that. Usually it's just simple, easy fixes. All right. The second thing for you to go through and audit are your offers and your messaging. Okay, does your messaging speak directly to your ideal client? Are your offers specific to your ideal client? Okay, if you're not sure about your ideal client, go back, listen to my previous episode a few weeks ago about really narrowing down your ideal client. And this is exactly why you need to do that, because you need everything you do in your brand to be targeted towards your ideal client. So I'm going to give you an example. If your ideal client is a mom of young children, you're a family photographer, your ideal client is a mom with school age or younger children, and your ideal client is someone who is super busy, always on the go, works a full-time job, but still tries to be super mom, all the things, then your messaging, your offers, your branding need to speak to her. So for example, if you are trying to speak to the busy mom of young kids, then offering sessions that are an hour, 2 hours long, where then they have to come back a couple weeks later and view their images and choose their favorite ones and design an album, that's too much for her to take in. She's a busy mom with young kids who works a full-time job. So your offers and your messaging need to be quick and easy to consume. So you need to offer her all-inclusive packages. You need to offer things that are going to provide her with more time, not take more time away from her. So know your audience and create branding and offers and messaging that really, really targets that one person. Is it clear and easy to understand? Are you giving her too many options? Is she overwhelmed because you have 4 different package options and she's like, just tell me what I need. Just tell me what I need and let me go, let me book it. Like, that's what your ideal client might want. Now, if your ideal client is someone who prefers luxury and wants to feel like that they are getting to choose their best option for them, or they really want like this full experience where they get to pick all the things and they get to get the album and they get, they want the full retouching and they want the hair and the makeup, then that's your branding and that's your messaging. Then lean into that. But if you don't know who you are trying to attract, it's really hard to narrow down that messaging and those offers. So you need to really go through and audit all of the things, talk to someone who is your ideal client and say, am I doing too much? Am I not doing enough? What part of this is appealing to you? What part is not appealing to you? You have to put in that kind of market research and really figure out like, what is it that is going to work for my ideal client? This is where a lot of times when you put things out into the world and they don't work, it's because you created an offer without really considering who your offer was for. So you created this really great offer, but doesn't appeal to the busy mom with young kids because it requires too much work on her part. Or you created the mini session for the client who wants the luxury experience. They don't want a quick mini session. They want the full luxury moment. So you have to really kind of make sure those things match up. All right, the next thing I want you to look at is, how are you getting people into your sales funnel? Now, before you get the word sales funnel gets you all scared and bothered, don't worry about it. What I mean is, how are you getting people into your audience? How are you getting people onto your email list? How are you getting people to want to know more about you? How are you getting them to follow you on social media or to read your content or spend more time wanting to know about who you are? Do you have a lead magnet that, again, appeals to your ideal client? If you don't, this is a great time to think about it. If you do, I want you to go and evaluate, is it really reaching my audience where they're at? Here is a perfect example. I have clients all the time who will come to me and they'll be like, yeah, I have a lead magnet. I have a what to wear to your photo shoot guide. Okay, that's fine. And about 10 years ago, those were probably pretty great. These days, A, everybody has one. B, if someone is already picking out their outfits, they probably are beyond the phase of needing to hire a photographer. So it no longer serves the purpose of a lead magnet. You are now offering something to your already booked clients. So your lead magnet is too far along the client journey. You need to create one that's closer to where they are at the very beginning. So let's go back to the idea of the busy mom, young kids, works a full-time job. Okay. You might need to create a lead magnet for her that is something like 5 quick, easy ways to get natural smiles from your kids in photos. Because she's probably taking lots of photos of her kids on her phone and she's getting those cheesy, fake smiles and she's irritated or she's annoyed by them. So if you give her a quick win and she gets on your email list, that's a win-win for both of you. And you're meeting her where she's at now, not where you want her to be when she's already ready to book with you. So you need to just make sure, like, go through and kind of audit if you already have a lead magnet. Is it really working? Are you promoting it a lot? Are you not? Could you do more of that? And is it meeting your client where they need to be right now? Okay, the next one is, what are you doing to build relationships? So once somebody has found you, what are you doing to nurture that relationship? Are you creating content for them on a blog, on social media, and emails, on YouTube? What are you doing to create content for them? How are you communicating with them? Do you have an automated email sequence that follows up with them after they join your email list? Are you creating emails that are engaging, that are asking questions? Are you creating content on social media that's asking for engagement, for feedback? Are you posting into your stories? Are you replying to comments and DMs. What are you doing to engage your audience? Because this is all part of the sales process. They have to know, like, and trust you. The communication, the connection. This is where a lot of times I see sort of the missing link is people want them to go from I see your website to I'm booking with you. But that's not the natural journey that most people go on. Most people go, I see your website, I learn about you, I know who you are now, but I need to know that I can like you and trust you before I want to click that book now button. What's that middle piece look like? That's where your lead magnets, your emails, your blogs, your social content, all of that is building relationships. If that piece is missing, you're missing that vital piece of building the relationship. You don't have the bridge. You're expecting your client to jump over a canyon from I learn about who you are to I want to book with you. Build them a bridge that takes them from one place to the other. Don't expect them to make that leap on their own. So if you're missing those pieces, that's a huge piece of your marketing that you need to go in and fix and audit and really break down. And then last but not least is your pricing. Is it really, really simple for them to find how much that you charge and understand how your packages work? I have gone through so many iterations of pricing and packages and IPS and all-inclusive and all the things in my photography business. And what I have found is that when I make it as simple as possible, I get more bookings. One time for a while through like my boudoir photography, and even in I was doing this honestly with seniors and families, I was trying to do it with everybody. It was kind of this hybrid IPS and in-person sales and all-inclusive type situation where they paid one flat fee up front, but then they paid one flat fee, so like $800, and then based on whatever package they bought, a percentage of the amount they paid went towards products that they could purchase after the session. Whatever products they purchased, they got the digital copies of that. Okay. Even just saying it is confusing to me. I feel like I need to explain even to you as a photographer how that worked. So if they bought an $800 package and $500 of that $800 went towards products, they could buy an album, they could buy prints, they could buy a, wall art, whatever. If they bought an album with 20 images in it, they got those same 20 images in digital form. It was so confusing. And I went through a very slow season of bookings because I was having to really explain in detail and get on Zoom calls or phone calls to walk my audience through how these packages worked. And I was finally like, this is not working. So when I switched from that to literally it's $800, you get an album with 20 images and you get those 20 images in digital form done. It was the exact same model. I just had to reword it. I had to represent it. I had to repackage it. It made a huge difference in my bookings, but I had to self-audit all that. I had to go, this is not working. Why is this not working? And what can I do differently? Because the pricing wasn't the problem. The price was never the problem for most of the clients. It was understanding where their money was going. So if you're having trouble booking clients or you're having to explain your pricing model all the time, it might be time to rethink how you are presenting those packages or how you're pricing those packages. So doing an audit on all of that is going to be super helpful. Okay, so those are some quick fixes, some quick audits that you can do to kind of go through and figure out what's the missing link in your flow. The ultimate goal is to create a client journey that runs seamlessly in your business. But that's not going to happen the very first time you create it. You're going to have to create it and then go through each step of that client journey and figure out what's the piece that needs a little bit of changing. What can I do differently here? Okay, they're getting lost on this step. I'm losing them here. How can I change this? So this episode was hopefully helpful in walking you through some of those pieces that you can then go look at and go, okay, this part's already working. I know it's working because I'm getting a lot of traffic to my website, but they're not booking. Okay, well, let's figure out why they're not booking. Okay, well, they're coming to my website. They're getting on my email list because they're downloading this free thing, but then they're not booking. Okay, well, let's look at your emails. What are you sending? What's the automation look like? Little tiny tweaks. You don't need to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You just need to find the little missing links and fix those missing links and change up a few things. And then over time, you'll have this beautiful client journey that leads your clients from finding you to booking with you every single time, or most of the time. Probably not every single time, but a lot of the time. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. Go put in the work. You've got work to do. We talked a couple episodes back about the difference between just having good talent, having good skills, and having a successful business is putting in the work. This is what that work looks like. Go put in that work to create an incredibly successful business that you can be proud of. And I will see you back here next week, same time, same place.